All right, well, college hopefuls, it's time to check your email. The acceptance list for Ivy League schools is out today. While some are celebrating, other applicants may be finding themselves on the wait list. So joining us now with tips about how to get off the wait list is Command Education CEO and founder, Christopher Rim. Chris, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Since this is kind of a make or break time for a lot of teens across the country, I want to be sensitive here because there's a lot at stake. But let's just say someone does find themselves on the wait list. What are your top tips for getting off?
Yeah, so first I would really take a deep breath. Don't overreact the moment you get your decision. If you're placed on the wait list, you weren't rejected. The chances of you getting off the wait list is not that high, but there still is a chance. So the best tip that I would give to students is to think about it for a few days, weigh all your options, look at the schools you were admitted to, and then see if you really want to be placed on the wait list and accept your spot. So that's the first thing. The second thing you can do is, that you should do, is write a letter of continued interest. So this letter of continued interest should be mailed and directed to the director, not to the director of admissions or the dean of the school. It should be directed to the regional admissions officer for your region. For example, New York City has its own regional admissions officer for certain schools.
Yeah.
New Jersey separate.
And you should do that unsolicited or not. Whether someone
Exactly.
asks you or not, you should just be sending this and saying, look, I'm still interested, because they don't know.
Unless the school states that you should not be sending any additional letters or recommendation letters or anything of that sort.
You and I would probably send those to you, but we want to look back to you because we are also reflecting on this show. Kristen, you went to UPenn.
I did.
I believe.
University of Pennsylvania.
Yes, I believe
2010.
you're very proud of that fact.
I am very
so
proud
you
of it.
have this photo here.
That's
by the
me
Philly
graduating.
Sign. Chris Hogan, we would have asked for your pictures too if we knew.
Okay.
But
It's okay. My pictures are older.
Fair enough.
But I love this being proactive for young people. It helps them to understand what they can do. And my reality is this: you're starting to look at a school, think of it like dating, right? You might have had that one girl that you really wanted to go out with, but sometimes people can say no, right? So you got to have a backup plan, right? A, B, and C. Be prepared, right? Don't be on the hook. Kristen, don't laugh at me. You know I'm telling the truth. You got to be prepared and got to have options.
Options are always good. I mean, I
good.
had my first school. I was going to go to University of Virginia, and then I decided not to after I got in somewhere else. And so
He went to Harvard, ladies and gentlemen. Look at those photos.
That is, that's a throwback right there.
Baby face.
No, but Chris, for other people, I guess, that are planning ahead, we've heard so much, obviously, about the admissions scandal that was recently in the news. When we talk about that, the Education Department also reportedly investigating the colleges tied to those bribery scandals. But when we talk about what you can do to get in the right way, top tips, maybe not for people who are trying to get in off the waiting list, but just people who are applying.
Of course, and I think that would be to start early. There's a domino effect with this process. I have the majority of students who used to call me started in like 10th or 11th grade, which is, you would think, a good time, or maybe even too early because you're not even in senior year. But now I'm seeing clients start with us as early as 8th or 9th grade. And especially after this scandal, I received dozens of calls from parents in middle school. And actually I had a parent of a first grader who said, Chris, can we engage with your services? And I was like, absolutely not. There's nothing that we can do to add value to a 5 or 6-year-old right now for college purposes. So I think it's really start early. I would say 9th grade is the best time to start thinking about what schools you might be interested in, what majors you could potentially want to pursue. Because there's just so many it's a domino effect, like I said. So the courses you select, the summer internships or research opportunities, you want to start early so that you're not behind.
I think after everything we've seen, you think that advice like that would be kind of, people would know not to bribe coaches, not to just send checks to everyone to get in, but I guess that was not common knowledge. But now, Christopher Rim, thank you so much for sharing your tips. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for having me.